Hi, I'm Eleni Capitanios from Breakthrough with Eleni, and today I'm going to be talking about fear of failure. Now, everybody hates failing, right? But for some people, failing is such a psychological threat that their motivation to avoid failure is so much worse than their motivation to succeed. Fear of failure causes them to unconsciously sabotage their success in all kinds of ways. These feelings can bring on all kinds of emotions like anger, frustration, disappointment, self-loathing, and even though these feelings don't feel good, they're usually not enough to trigger a completely self-sabotaging fear of failure. And it's interesting because it's not really a fear of failure, but a fear of shame. People who have a fear of failure want to avoid failing at all costs, and not because they can't manage the emotions of, disappointment and anger and all of those that go along with the failure, but because that failure makes them feel a deep, deep sense of shame. Isn't that interesting? And as we know, shame is a toxic emotion because instead of just feeling bad about what we did, like having guilt or feeling regret about how we handle something, shame makes us feel bad about who we are intrinsically. Brené Brown explains shame by saying shame and guilt and the differences by saying guilt is I did something bad, shame is I am bad. Shame attacks our core, the core of our identity and our self-esteem, our well-being, our sense of not being good enough. And shame is so damaging that it makes it imperative for people who have that fear of failure to avoid threats of impending shame by finding unconscious ways to mitigate the implications of potential failure. So they might sabotage themselves in ways like instead of preparing for a job interview, they go out and buy all kinds of new clothes for the interview, right? This allows them to have the excuse, I didn't have enough time to get ready, right? You probably have those kinds of people in your life, or maybe you're that person. People sabotage themselves with weight loss all the time by saying things like, my husband bought all these unhealthy foods and I had to eat them. Or I'm never going to lose weight anyway. I'm at a plateau, so I'm just going to eat whatever. So how do you know that you have this? You might just know inside, right? Once you're kind of watching the video. But here are some ways that you might find this showing up in yourself. So does failing make you worry about what other people think of you? I have lots of videos in here in my YouTube channel about how to get rid of that caring about what other people think. Does failing make you worry that you'll never be able to get the future you want or the things that you want, but you kind of feel like you can't do anything about it? It's unconscious, right? Does failing make you worry that people will lose interest in you? Does it make you worry about how smart or capable you are? Does failure make you worry about disappointing people? Do you often tell people before you do something that you're probably not going to succeed, so they don't have high expectations of you? And once you fail at something, do you have trouble imagining what you could have done differently to succeed? You just feel stuck, right? It's almost like you have a mental block around this stuff. And sometimes you might get headaches or stomach aches or not feel well, having physical symptoms that prevent you from preparing for the thing that you need to do. And I found that very interesting. It's that mind-body connection again, right? You might get distracted by tasks that prevent you from completing the preparation, which when you look back, they weren't really very important, right? Your unconscious mind was creating all of these things to distract you because you were afraid to fail, right? Your unconscious is trying to protect you. You might often procrastinate or run out of time to get ready for the things that are going to create success in your life, but there's still a potential to fail, right? So fear of failure is a very insidious unconscious creation. But the thing is that we can combat it, right? What we need to do, and I say this all the time, is to go back to the past where it started. And, maybe you were punished for failing as a kid. Maybe your parents and the people around you had super, super high expectations. And you were afraid to not meet them. Maybe you felt as a child that if you failed, you wouldn't be loved. right? There's all kinds of root issues here that could contribute to the fear of failure. But the good thing is that when we go back to the past and back to that root and find it, we can get rid of it. So if this is something that you have and you're not quite sure what to do about it, the good news is that you can book in with me. I can give you like a roadmap on how we're going to deal with it, right? We'll find the root problem and we'll go from there, because we really all want success. And if that fear of failure is holding you back, that is something you definitely want to deal with. So ask yourself, when you're watching this video, is this me? Do these kinds of symptoms apply to me? Am I doing this to myself in my life? And if you are, we can deal with it really, really fast. So let me know what you think. Shoot me a message and let me know, do you have fear of failure? Is this you? And if it is, do you want to get rid of it? So that is my video for today. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get notified when I drop a new video every week. And let's succeed together. I will see you next time.